city of Truro"'s visit had made Duck very proud of the fact that he was a Great Western engine. He talked endlessly about it. But he did work hard too, and made everything go like clockwork. The trucks behaved well, and the coaches were ready on time. And the passengers stopped grumbling for once. But the other engines didn't like having to bustle about. "There are two ways of doing things," Duck told them. "The Great Western Way or the wrong way." "Oh, don't we know it?" they groaned. They were glad no visitor arrived at the railway. The visitor putted smoothly towards them. The fat controller climbed down. Here is Diesel," he said. "I have agreed to give him a trial. He needs to learn. Please teach him, Duck." "Oh, good morning," purred Diesel in an oily voice. "Pleased to meet you, Duck. Oh, is that James and Henry and Gordon too? Oh, I'm delighted to be around such famous engines." And he potted towards them. The silly engines were flattered. "He has very good manners," they muttered. "We are pleased to have him in our yard." But Duck, however, did have his doubts. "Come on," he snorted. Diesel, delighted to show off, potted away. With much banging and clashing, he collected a row of trucks. I skipped a page there. Oh, yes, said Diesel. "The yard, of course. Excuse me, engines." And he potted after Duck. Talking hard. "You're worthy fat. He's Sir Topham Hatt to use," ordered Duck. Diesel looked hurt. "Your worthy Sir Topham Hatt thinks that I need to learn. He is mistaken, of course, because we Diesels don't need to learn. We know everything. We come to a yard and improve it. We are revolutionary." "Oh," said Duck. "If you're revolutioning whatever you did say, then could you please collect my trucks while I'll fetch some coaches for Gordon?" Diesel, delighted, put it away. With much banging and clashing, he collected a row of trucks. Duck left to collect the coaches for Gordon. He soon came back from the station. Diesel was now trying to take some trucks of a siding nearby. These trucks were old and empty, and it was clear to anyone that they hadn't been used for a long, long time. Their brakes would not come off properly, and Diesel found them very, very hard to move. Push backwards, forwards. Ah! Ah! The trucks groaned. We can't. We won't. We can't. We won't. We can't. We won't. Duck watched this entire operation with a great amount of interest. Diesel eventually lost his patience. He roared and gave the trucks a great heave. This caused them to jerk forward. He screamed. We can't. We won't. Some of the brakes in the end just broke, and the gear hanging down bumped onto the rails and the sleepers. We can't. We won't. We can't. We won't. Their trailing brakes caught in points and locked themselves solid. Roared Diesel, and a rusty coupling broke, and Diesel shot forward by himself. Ha 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 ha! Chuckled Duck. Diesel recovered and tried to push the trucks from the other direction, but they wouldn't move. So he just had to give up. Duck ran quietly around where the other trucks all stood in line. Thank you for arranging these, Diesel, he said, but I must go now. But don't you want this lot? No, thank you. Diesel gulped. And I have taken all this trouble. He almost shrieked. Why didn't you tell me? You never asked me. And besides, said Duck, it looked like you were having such a fun time reveling things or whatever you say. Goodbye. Diesel now had to help the workmen clear the mess he made. He hated this. All the trucks and coaches were laughing, and presently he heard some of them singing. Their songs grew louder and louder, and soon it echoed throughout the entire yard. The song went like this. Trucks are waiting in the yard, tackling them with Diesel. Show the world what I can do. Gaily boasts the Diesel. In and out he creeps about like a big black weasel. When he pulls the wrong trucks out, pop goes the Diesel. Growled Diesel. and scuttered away. And he sulked in the shed that entire afternoon.